Have you ever looked at the clock and wondered where all the time went? One day becomes 1 week, 1 week becomes 1 month, and before we realize it, another year has passed. Every person on Earth receives the same 24 hours each day, yet some people build extraordinary lives while others spend years waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Today, I want to tell you a story that may completely change the way you think about time. This is the story of Daniel, a young man with big dreams, but very little action. Daniel wanted to become successful, travel the world, learn English fluently, make his parents proud, and build a life he could be proud of. Every morning, he woke up full of excitement, promising himself, "Today is the day I will change my life." But after breakfast, he picked up his phone just for 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes became 30. 30 minutes became 2 hours. Then he watched another video, checked another message, and scrolled through endless social media posts. Before he knew it, half the day had disappeared. Every evening, Daniel felt guilty and whispered the same words, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow became next week became next month, and months quietly turned into years. His dreams never disappeared, but they remained trapped inside his imagination because dreams without action are only wishes. One afternoon, while walking through a peaceful park, Daniel noticed an elderly man sitting quietly on a wooden bench, watching children laugh, birds fly across the sky, and leaves dance in the gentle wind. As Daniel walked past, the old man smiled and asked, "Young man, if I offered you $1 million today, would you accept it?" Daniel laughed and replied, "Of course I would." The old man nodded and asked another question. "What if I gave you $1 million, but tomorrow morning you would never wake up again?" Daniel's smile disappeared immediately. "No," he answered firmly. "No amount of money is worth my life." The old man smiled gently and said, "Then you already understand something that many people forget. Every morning you wake up, you receive something far more valuable than $1 million. You receive another day of life. Yet most people waste it without realizing its true value." Those words echoed in Daniel's mind for the rest of the day. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about all the hours he had wasted doing things that never made him happier or brought him closer to his dreams. The next morning, instead of reaching for his phone, Daniel picked up a notebook and wrote one sentence across the first page. "Today is too valuable to waste." He decided to study English for 30 minutes, read 10 pages of a book, exercise for 20 minutes, and spend quality time with his parents before touching his phone. It wasn't easy. His phone buzzed with notifications every few minutes, tempting him to return to his old habits. Several times he almost gave in, but each time he remembered the old man's words. A few days later, Daniel returned to the park and found the old man sitting on the same bench. "I try to change," Daniel admitted, "but I still waste time sometimes." The old man smiled kindly and replied, "Changing your life doesn't happen in one day. It happens one decision at a time." Then he picked up a large glass jar and placed several big stones inside it. "Is the jar full?" he asked. "Yes," Daniel replied. The old man then poured small pebbles into the jar. They filled the empty spaces between the stones. "Now is it full?" Daniel nodded. Finally, the old man poured fine sand into the jar until every remaining space was filled. "This jar is your life," he explained. "The big stones are your health, your family, your dreams, your education, your faith, and your happiness. The pebbles are your career, your hobbies, and the things you own. The sand is everything else: endless scrolling, meaningless arguments, gossip, and distractions. If you fill your life with sand first, there will never be room for what truly matters." Daniel understood the lesson immediately. From that day onward, he started putting the important things first. Every morning, he planned his day before checking his phone. He read books instead of wasting hours online. He learned English every day. He exercised, helped his parents, and slowly became more disciplined. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. The changes were small at first, almost invisible, but over time they transformed his entire life. His English improved. He earned better opportunities. He became healthier, happier, and more confident. One day his childhood friend Alex visited him and asked, "Daniel, what changed you? We both had the same dreams, but somehow you achieved yours while I'm still waiting." Daniel smiled and answered, "The only difference is that I stopped waiting for tomorrow and started using today." Alex laughed and replied, "I'll begin next month." But deep inside, Daniel knew that next month often becomes next year, and next year becomes a lifetime of regret. Years later, Daniel met the old man one final time. They watched the sunset together in silence. After a few moments, the old man quietly asked, "Can you stop the sun from setting?" Daniel shook his head.
No.
"Exactly," the old man replied. "Time moves forward whether you use it wisely or waste it completely. Every sunset is one day you'll never get back." Daniel looked at the colorful sky and realized how many sunsets he had ignored while staring at a screen. The old man smiled one last time and said, "Your greatest investment will never be money. It will always be how you spend your time." Those words stayed with Daniel forever. Many years later, after becoming successful, people often asked him the secret behind his achievements. They expected him to talk about intelligence, talent, or luck. Instead, he always gave the same answer. "I simply stopped wasting my life. I learned that one page read today is better than promising to read an entire book tomorrow. One new English word learned today is better than waiting for the perfect course next month. One healthy meal today is better than planning a perfect diet next year. One kind conversation today is better than regretting the words you never spoke." Success is never built in one extraordinary moment. It is built through ordinary days used wisely. As you finish listening to this story, ask yourself one important question. If someone gave you one more year to chase your dreams, would you use it differently from the last one? Remember, your phone can be replaced. Your money can be earned again. Your mistakes can become lessons. But the time you waste today is gone forever. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for next month. Don't wait for next year.
Start today.
Read one page. Learn one new English word. Exercise for 10 minutes. Call someone you love. Take one small step toward your dream, because small actions repeated every day create extraordinary lives. Life is not measured by how many years you live, but by how wisely you use the years you have. Don't waste your life. Your future is being created by the choices you make today, and the best time to begin is right now.